Nowadays, there are cars that are just built different. Some that offer you the features and tech that you need, and some that offer you the tech that you probably don't need, but their marketing team really needs to sell those cars to you. Well, here on Tech 360, we want to cut all that noise away from the conversation and tell you about the things that you need. Find out what it is that you are actually using. Some of these tech features that these cars are selling to you, how many of them are you buying? And how much of that marketing lingo are you buying, and how much of it is genuinely making your life easier and are actually features that are useful? Here's a Tech 360 special report by Sharat Nair.
Yesterday I was playing Scrabble with my niece. Yeah, we're very awe like that. But because she's 6, we have one very simple rule, which is I cannot use very complicated words because, she won't understand. So I had OVER on the board and I couldn't use over parameterize or over intellectualize, and because my pa was also sitting there, I couldn't do over confident or over smart because he'll be like narcissist. So what I did was over tech, OVERTECH. Of course, an argument followed that that's not a word, but why is that not a word? So many times tech companies just shove features down on us which we actually practically don't need, don't use. So here's Tech 360 coming up with something called Overtech, which now we're going to use every time we see such a feature. So today we're doing that with auto. I'm going to come to you guys and look at features that tech companies, auto companies have put on us, shoved on us. We're not going to use them. So this is Overtech.
For me, I think sunroof.
चार्जिंग सिस्टम बहुत लो है.
They have a full window glass on the top.
Anti-collision thingies when you're trying to reverse that decide that they're seeing a wall and they're not, and they slap the brakes on and make you jump.
Sounds क्या बेकार आ रहा है थोड़ा. Voice activated command.
They are an implementation that I really don't like, especially for things that are right there. The button is right there. So let's say for opening the sunroof, I press the button and it opens. I say the command to wake the keyword, with the keyword first. Processes. Then I say the command open sunroof, processes, and then it opens again. Don't do that. Instead, have it for things like, telling where the navigation should go, playing that song, calling someone, things that would actually require me to stop and then type on the keypad. Do that for voice commands.
We are getting technology from there. We are putting a big, huge screens, removing the buttons.
जैसे ये स्क्रीन है, इसमें बटन हटा दिए, बड़ी स्क्रीन कर दिए, ध्यान भटकता है गाड़ी चलाते हुए.
All screen displays with no physical buttons, and that's a huge problem for me as well. I have been driving ever since I turned 18.1. Yeah, on the night of when I turned 18, that's when I was actually driving. So for me, being one with the car meant if someone immediately said, hey, Sharat, just put the AC to 21, without keeping my eyes off the road, I could actually just set it with the buttons. That's something that's missing. Hey, why am I standing right next, parked on a highway, digging through menus, trying to set the treble and bass? Don't do that. Give us some tactile buttons.
Heated seat, which I believe it's not a regular feature which is useful for nowadays, because in India it's a moderate temperature.
For the sake of my sisters and brothers from up the hills, up cold, I'm not going to bash on heated seats too much because they'll use it perennially. For the rest of us in India, that's a wasted feature. Aren't we already very hot and humid? So give us ventilated seats, like nice fabric on the seats, which breathes in itself and gives cool ventilation. Give us that so that I can be sitting like this more and more in my car for those long trips that I love taking.
They have one silly header display, which was actually, it was like when you had to concentrate on that to actually see when they to give you right turn or left turn. You had to actually focus, and it was not just focus in such a manner that you had to concentrate to get to see where you are going.
In India, already driving needs your full attention. It's a sensory overload. And imagine putting a small little display called the heads-up display into that mix. Now, I've seen a couple of my friends not adjusting it to your view line of sight, which means while they're driving, then they need to adjust themselves left or right to figure out the small little display and the navigation, small little graphic navigation that it shows. Don't do that.
automatic lane change system. So on Indian roads, I feel that's not very good. Like it's not very safe. Maybe in a Western country better, but I think that's a safety hazard. That's my perspective.
Find me a competent enough autopilot and a perfectly working, functional enough ADAS system in India that will drive me from our office in Noida to, let's say, the coffee house here in CP. And then what I will do is, to those of you who find that autopilot, I will carpool with you guys. I will drive, of course. See, ADAS and autopilot, they're really nice features. I'm not saying no to them. But India, the implementation in India needs a completely different level of adaptation to the environment and our driving conditions. There's a long way to go. And these features thereby, they just seem like half-baked. So that was our list of 5 features that we kind of do not want on cars. Like if you have them, at least do a better implementation over tech. Now, what I want you guys to do is send us a couple of more suggestions on what to do this on. Smartphones, sure. Laptops, sure. Cameras, why not? Keep them coming. This is Tech 360 from New Delhi. Such a pleasure to be doing such lists for you guys.